Let's take a look at the reports that FleetRover offers. The first one listed here is an audits report. It's essentially a project management tool. You're able to see any change made in the system by any user at any time. That report is going to give you insight into what that change was so that you can go back to that person and potentially ask them why they made that change. So if you log into this system, instead of trying to find out who changed what, and instead of changing something back that someone else has changed, you can have open lines of communication around that. And it also ensures that everyone who's using the system knows that overall their usage is tracked. Below that, we have a fuel tax report, which single click is going to handle all of your IFTA reporting. And if you're traveling outside of the province or outside of the state, that's going to be quite critical for you. The next report is the activity report. That's going to tell you things like starts, stops, engine metrics, and of course FleetRover provides it directly through the interface, but sometimes you want that information through a different format, and this Excel format will do that for you. The next report listed here is the events report. Events is essentially an Excel output of that alert report on the right-hand side that you can access by just clicking on this bell here. Below that, we have the non-transmit report. If any of your drivers haven't signed in for a particularly long time, this non-transmit report is going to indicate when the last time was that they signed in, so you can monitor that a little bit better. The speeding report is a report of all the speeding events within the fleet, and the POI report is going to tell you all of your vehicles' interactions with assets around them, or locations around them. So all of the truck's entries and exits to various geofences. Now, if a truck is entering a certain category of geofence and spending more time there than other vehicles, that POI report will also flag that. So for example, because we can categorize these POIs by border crossing, coffee shop, customer location, yard, whatever it may be, you're able to begin identifying anomalies by having the report indicate to you that certain drivers are spending more time at coffee shops than other drivers, or more time at customer locations than other drivers, so that you can identify those issues and determine why they may be occurring. Of course, customers that keep your drivers longer than other customers as well, that will show up too. The other report we have that isn't actually shown here is the who was there report. Similar to the POI report, where you're looking at a vehicle and seeing where they've gone and their interactions with those locations, the who was there report is instead looking at a location and very literally saying who was there. You could look at the last 2 hours in a certain area and say who was in that area at that time. So if a person called your organization and mentioned that a vehicle was overspeeding in a certain area at a certain time, you would be able to take a look at that specific area at that time and find out who that was. Also, you would be able to look at your own yard and find out which vehicles are in that yard at any given point in time. And all of that data enables you to improve your overall yard management offering and your yard management capabilities. You can see within the report in one tab how many vehicles entered the yard and how many are there right now. And in the second tab, you're able to see among those vehicles that aren't currently in the yard, where are they and when were they last in the yard? Those are the reports.